Hey guys, it's Mrs. MacPhail and
Mrs. Gonzalez.
Here with your next lesson today. Your objective by the end of this video is to identify parallel and perpendicular line segments and rays. I just really like saying the word perpendicular. It's kind of fun. Alright, we have some more fun vocabulary for you and a reminder that we'll have this site available for you so you can visit it whenever you would like to refresh yourself with some of the vocabulary. And I'm just going to bring this page down a little bit further so you can see what's going on. Now these cards are interactive, just to remind you too, so you can click on them and you can see the front and the back side. You can quiz yourself. So, parallel lines. This is actually a little joke for you. We hope you get the humor in this. So parallel lines are actually two lines that never meet. But parallel lines have so much in common, it's a shame that they'll never meet. That's pretty funny, Mrs. Gonzalez.
That's so funny. I love it. I love that saying. What a great way to help remember what parallel is.
I totally agree. So yes, it's lines, segments, or rays that never meet. Never, 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 never. It's a shame. Intersect. Line segments or rays that share a common point, so they either cross or touch. That means that the line segments or rays either cross or touch. And perpendicular lines. Now, you could see this notation sometimes where there's this little box written in one of the corners, and that's just the symbol, meaning that it's either a 90-degree angle, which is something we haven't talked about yet, but mainly you just want to keep in mind that this is showing two lines that are perpendicular to each other because they are lines, segments, or rays that make a 90-degree angle. You can think of it like a sharp corner. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. So let's go back over to our notebook and show you some other examples here. So here we go. These line segments are parallel, and so you can see once again it's a shame they're never going to meet.
Never going to meet.
They're just going to go on forever. Yeah. Kind of like a road.
Yeah, roads go on forever. So do railroad tracks.
These line segments intersect like a road, again, but maybe like an intersection.
Yeah, an intersection is where two roads come together and there's a bunch of cars traveling on each road. And if they did not have a stop sign, what do you think would happen? Oh, yes, they would crash, and that would be terrible.
That would be very bad.
So we need to put in signs so those cars stop because the roads intersect. They meet, they cross.
Sometimes lines that intersect, and we've just talked about this, are perpendicular, which means that they have that 90-degree angle. And if you follow my cursor going down with this one line segment and then going over on the other line segment, this is a perpendicular. These are perpendicular line segments technically because they have that right angle or that 90-degree angle right in here, kind of like a sharp corner once again.
Oh, Mrs. MacPhail.
Oh, yes.
MacPhail.
Oh, yes.
I think I see some other perpendicular segment corners in there.
Where?
Are there like maybe three other ones?
Yes.
Because I think I see three different corners in that picture.
Here's another one. So if I really wanted to, I guess I could draw like my pen here. We can put some boxes in. Here's one. And Mrs. Gonzalez is absolutely right. Look, here's another one.
Woohoo!
Where's the other ones? Oh, like down here, you think?
Yep.
Ah, oops, that's kind of a sideways box.
That's okay. They know what you meant.
Okay. And then, oh, there's our last one.
Yay!
So you're right.
There's four altogether.
It's like a puzzle.
It is.
And now this. I'm going to switch it over to Mrs. Gonzalez for some more awesomeness.
Yay, I get to draw some more for you.
Sweet.
Last time we were together, we talked about how to name line segments, lines, and rays. And we talked about that they have names just like people do. Today, now that we know the words parallel and intersecting, we're going to do a little bit more drawing, but we're going to use those words to help us draw our pictures. So the first example I have is we have a segment, because remember segments have no arrows, so I know this is a segment. Its name is A, B, or BA. And this is going to be parallel. Parallel means they never meet.
It's such a shame.
It's such a shame. Absolutely right. So I want to draw this segment AB parallel to segment, line segment, CD. So what that's going to look like is AB, I'm going to draw that first. Here's A, and here's B, and I'm going to connect them with a segment. I can draw my endpoint on here if I want to. Now remember, I need to make it parallel, so that means when I draw CD, I want to draw it so that it is not touching AB. So I'm going to draw it here. Here is C, and here is D. So this would be an example of parallel because they are spaced apart where they could never cross each other.
Such a shame.
It is such a shame. Now, sometimes, Mrs. McPhail, kids can get confused, and sometimes when they're drawing their parallel segments, they draw them like this, I've seen.
Oh,
I've
man.
seen kids do C, oopsies, that doesn't look like very good C, C, and then they draw D like this, and they say, Mrs. Gonzalez, these lines never touch each other.
Ah, but
so
wait.
They're parallel.
But wait. They're not right there, but they could eventually.
They could. So if it decided to be a regular line instead of a line segment, you can see that if I kept going, eventually it would meet AB. And that's just not part of what parallel is.
Right.
They never can meet.
Such a shame.
Such a shame. So I am going to erase this and redraw it. So I want to make sure my A and B are parallel to C and D, meaning they don't touch each other. And they could never touch each other.
Such a shame.
All right, on to the next one. So this time I have a ray because it has one arrow and it's XP, and I need to be very careful when I draw my ray and I'm putting my X and my P on here. I have to put the X first because that is the end point of this ray. It starts at X. Wherever the end point is, that's always the first letter, and it continues towards P. So I need to put X here, and then I can put P anywhere else. So I'm going to put P here. So there's my ray, XP, and now it needs to intersect, which means it crosses my line, JO. Two arrows, so it's a line, not a line segment. So this is kind of fun. I can draw JO anywhere I want. It just has to cross XP. So I'm going to make it intersect right here, diagonal. And I need to make sure that it matches the symbol up here. Arrow here, arrow here. So I need to show those on my drawing. Here we go. And then I can put JO anywhere because it can be flipped, JO or OJ. It doesn't really matter where I put it here on my line. So I'm going to put J here and O up here. So now, rereading my question and checking my work, I needed ray, XP. Okay, here it is, ray, one arrow, XP. And it needs to intersect or cross, here we go, a line named JO or OJ. Here is my line. It has two arrows, 1 and 2, and I have O and I have J. So it looks like that's all I needed to do.
You know what else I think, Mrs. Gonzalez?
What else?
OJ makes me thirsty. I think we're done here.
Ah, okay, let's go get some OJ.
Okay.
Have a good night, students.
See you guys.